Mike Jones from the Connection Games and Comics, recording our Friday Night Magic Booster Draft from April 5th, 2013. We had 2 pods of players, 1 pot of 10, 1 pot of 11. I'm drafting in the 11-man pod. So let's see what we open in our first pack. Looks like a pretty good pack. We have a Kingpin's Pet, Pit Fight, Silica Guards, Holy Mantle, Rule Charm, and Simic Manipulator. Seeing as I'm partial to both Simic and Dimir, the underdrafted guilds, I'm going to just pick up the rare here. And this pack is probably my worst pick of the evening. See, just going back through the first pack again, seeing we're passing a pretty strong Gruul signal there. It turns out the person to my left did definitely get that signal. Alright, so we see a Devour Flesh, Martial Glory. What else is good in here? Ember Beast is okay, Agoraphobia is okay, Fire Fist Striker, and Gruul Charm. More good Gruul cards. Apologize for the sniffles and stuff, but I think the Devour Flesh would have been the best card for my deck, seeing as where I ended up going. Of course, I'm looking at those 2 cards going, those are very strong. I think Agoraphobia would have been the right pick just to stay on color. But I don't pick either of those. I don't jump colors, or you'll see in a second here what I pulled to the front and pick, thinking, hey, maybe I'm going to be Simic, and so let's sort of pick up the only, well, not the only, not even the best green card in this pack. Anyway, so I picked up a Greenside Watcher. Here's my second pick in the first pack. Alright, on to pick 3. Let's see what we get. Leyline Phantom wouldn't be bad. Another Martial Glory there, it looks like. Corpse Blockade, Phonetic Prism, and a Dusk Mantle Guildmage. And again, I like Dimir, it goes with my first pick. So I think this is a pretty good pick here for me. Seems like Dimir is open. Sorry for the amateur camera works there. So it is, I pick up the Guildmage here. Pick 4. It looks like Boros is wide open, Halberdiers, but Balustrade Spy is on color with the Guildmage we just picked up. Goes along with that mill theme that the Guildmage also has going for it, plus he's a 2/3 flyer. So we pick up the Spy here and pass some really good Boros cards. Shuffling up, passing those on. And what do we get here? Shadow Slice, Spire Tracer, not so good. Sky Knight Legionnaire, Madcap Skills, wow, okay, so Boros is still flowing, but probably could have jump shipped here, but I just pick up the Cloudfin Raptor. Solid in Dimir or Simic, so I can still go either way. And here we get another Shadow Slice, Burst of Strength, Totally Lost, Dimir Charm, and a shiny Cloudfin Raptor. Gridlock I shuffled into the back there. But hey, I'm a sucker for the shiny cards, what can I say? Probably should have picked up the Dimir Charm, but Cloudfin Raptor, again, works both in the Simic deck and the Dimir deck. Flyer, gets bigger, good to cipher stuff onto. So I picked up my second Cloudfin Raptor there. Here we go. What do we have here? Another Dusk Mantle Guildmage. Alright, so Dimir's definitely flowing. Some more decent Gruul coming as well, and some more decent Simic coming, so I guess I'm seeing all the good Simic stuff coming, and I'm still thinking, oh, maybe I can still do that splash. Skinbrand Goblin would be fine in that fast Boros deck, which I could have also probably drafted. There's a card hiding in there. Oh, Scab Clan Charger, that would have been a good, again, in the Gruul deck. I'm imagining the person to my left is putting together a pretty amazing Gruul deck, which indeed she was. I had to face her in the finals. Well, not the finals, in round 4. I didn't make it to finals. Spoiler. Alright, so not much in this pack for us. Just pick up the last thoughts here, I think. Yep. Decent cipher card. Alright, so now what do we have? Getting down to the bottom here. Totally Lost, Snapjaw, Scatter Arc. Nothing much for us, although, well, Totally Lost is very playable, especially keep tempo. If you can get that Dimir and mill off the card he puts back on the top. If you get the Guild Mage out with it. Can combo. And wow, look at all the yummy Gruul stuff still left in this pack. Shanktail, Zertas Wine, Burst of Strength. For me, I'm thinking, hey, well, maybe I can still splash the green. See if I open a Simic Bomb in pack 2 or pack 3, I'll have the option. So let's just pick up the Guild Gate and keep passing the goods. Yeah, what do we get in this pack? Wow. All, yeah, well, Burden Haven's arguably playable in some decks. Active Treason's definitely playable, Phantom's definitely playable, Undercity Informer fits nicely with what we're trying to do here, so it's a 3-drop. So in she goes. Getting down late in this pack. Now this decision took me way longer than it should have. Again, I'm still thinking maybe I can splash the green, let's see what we open up. Don't really think I need another Greenside Watcher, so I guess I'm just really thinking, do I want to pick up at least one Spell Rupture. Works good in the Simic deck. Can be okay in the Dimir deck, although I probably prefer Psychic Strike if I'm playing Dimir and I want to counterspell. So I'm debating, am I going to see another Guild Gate? I'm going to see that Spell Rupture. This will make my second Guild Gate, so I think I end up picking the Guild Gate here over the Spell Rupture. There we go. And you can see another Guild Gate, so now I've got 2 Simic Guild Gates. And a Greenside Watcher is the only thing I'm splashing for, so I'm not really that necessary right now. Get another Spell Rupture, but here I just pick up the other Dimir Guild Gate because I know I'm going to need that one. And we get past the last pick, Leyline Phantom. So not bad for pack 1. We've got a decent set of playables there, probably. Should have realized at this point that the Greenside Watcher was not going in, that I'm just straight up Dimir. Guess I'm still hopeful that I'm going to open a bomb in pack 2, which I did, but it was not in the right color. So here we go with pack 2. Metropolis Sprite, I can slide that in, I guess. Shamble Shark, maybe. I'm still thinking I can do the green thing. Dimir Guildgate would have been good. Prism. Dimir Keyrune. Hellraiser Goblin. Angelic Skirmisher. Man, I really wish I had switched into Boros earlier on. Alright, well, so I pass a present to the person on my right. Because I don't take the Skirmisher, because there's really no way I can play it at this point. Looks like it's a decision between the Prism, the Gates, the Keyrune, the Shamble Shark, and the Sprite. 2 drops are pretty important in Gate Crash, so I think I just end up taking the Sprite here, which I agonize over for a little while. But yep, there we go. Take the Sprite. 2 drops looking pretty decent. And we get past Syndicate Ties, would have been nice. Surf Dust Wine, Mortis Strider, Whisk Scope of Guild Mage, and Mystic Genesis. I guess I could have taken that, but again, who knows if I'm splashing the green. I already have the Undercity Informer, so Mortis Strider combos with that nicely. That's what I'm thinking at this point. Maybe I can build that deck. If I can pick up some Sage's Row later on. That's always fun to do. Mill you on the way out and mill you on the way in. This pack we get a Devour Flesh, another Cloudfin Raptor, Grizzly Spectacle, yay. It's probably just one of the most premium pieces of removal in the set right now. It's too bad all these cards are in the same pack. Seems to be typical of my Gate Crash experience so far, but I pretty much just slammed the Grizzly Spectacle here. Again, I don't know why that didn't seal me in blue-black at this point, but in the back of my head I'm still thinking, oh, green, I can still do green. Guess I do have the 2 key runes, or this 2 Guild Gate still, so. And there's the card I overvalue way too much in Nimbus Swimmer. Decent card, it is playable, but I think that another sprite would have been just fine here. Or even the Dimir key rune. Or Psychic Strike even would have been good. But, oh, and we take a swimmer there. So now I'm saying, yes, oh good, my reason for my splash is there. And what do we get in this pack? Another Cloudman Raptor, Psychic Strike, Simic Key Rune, Boros Elite there at the end. But yeah, another Cloudman Raptor. So that's our 3rd Cloudman Raptor. Should be able to get one of those most games now. Croconura, Zerta Swine, Death's Approach, Sage's Rodenizen, and Dinrova Horror. I love me some horrors. Seems like a good curve topper in the Dimir deck. And we don't have a lot at the high end right now, so surely would like to get that Sage's Rodenizen back though. Or that Death's Approach too would be a pretty good piece of removal in the Dimir deck, but Dinrova Horror seems to be something, a missing piece for us. And here we get not a lot. Like that was a Void Walk at the end there. Clinging in enemies, Nimbus Swimmer. So here's a decent place to pick up a Nimbus Swimmer. But I get my second one. Executioner Swing, Death Cult Rogue, Rapid Hybridization, or Orzhov Charm. So no one on my left is playing Orzhov, it looks like. Death Cult Rogue seems like the right pick here. I'll Rapid Hybridization could have been a pick as well, I guess. Should have looked at my removal a little more. Here we get Corpse Blockade, Scatter Arc, Paranoid Delusions. I like Corpse Blockade because I already have the Mortis Strider. Another way to combo off. Assuming that Sage's Row maybe comes back around. Rust Scarab though, if I am going to do this green splash, that could work. But I end up just taking the Corpse Blockade here. Way of the Thief, Drakewing Crisis, Sapphire, and a Sage's Rodenizen. What was I just saying I wanted to get? That sounds good. Sapphire Drake is tempting. We already have the Dinrova at the 6-drop though. Don't know if we're splashing green yet. Sage's Row just works well for us. But I guess I'm thinking about it for a while. Sapphire Drake can take over games if your opponent can't deal with it. But it is a 6-drop. Yep, so I take the Sage's Rodenizen there. One more time. Should I? Yeah, that's the one I'm going to take. There we go. Fills out that three spot pretty nicely there. Get lots of 3-drops. So we get a second Corpse Blockade, or that Spell Rupture I said I wanted in pack 1. It didn't end up picking. Coming around pretty late. But I get a shiny one, so I'll take it. Kind of a sucker for the shiny cards. Here we get Midnight Recovery, Dimir Key Rune, Prayers of Profane. Yeah, takes the Key Rune, Midnight Recovery, make an argument for it. But I'm thinking that makes the swimmers bigger, gets me there faster, gets me to the horror faster. Horror of the Dim. Maybe I play it, probably don't. last pick in pack 2 is a Hydroform. Don't like that card a whole lot, although I've seen it played. Against the aggressive flyer deck, it can be a bit of a surprise. Alright, let's see what we get in pack 3. Yikes. Wrecking Ogre. I can't play Wrecking Ogre, can I? Probably not. Hands of Binding. Yeah, it seems good. Another Halberdiers, another Madcap Skills, Death's Approach, another Spy, Guild Mage, Cartel Aristocrat. So there's the Simic Guild Mage. But Spy fits what we're trying to do. Sort of hoping that Hands of Binding will come back around. Not counting on it, but let's see what we get next. Skulk, another Mortis Strider. So far we have 2 sack outlets. That Ground Assault at the end there. Oh. Another Swine. Bomber Core. Yes. Opponent's putting together a nice Gruul deck, I suspect. So I take the Mortis Strider here. That's my second Mortis Strider. And I pick up here, let's see. I'm not sure if this was the right pick. Simic Flux Mage. I found that card to be kind of underwhelming lately. Especially since I don't really have a lot that's going to be evolving it in this deck. I get 1 evolve out of the Spies. Dinrova Horror, maybe the Leyline Phantom are all I'm going to be evolving it with. But so that probably was not the right pick. Maybe I should have picked up a Shadow Slice there. Alright. Slaughter Horror. Here we go. That's the same pack, just passing that on now. Let's see what we get next. Oh, listen, the ranks. Biomass Mutation. Oh, it's still got a rare in here, so another Mortis Strider there. Next can be a win con though. Double blue and 4, and all my guys are 4/4. Swing for the win. Guess I'm debating that over another Mortis Strider. So my third Mortis Strider or Biomass Mutation. Really shouldn't have worried about this one this hard. Pretty easy Biomass Mutation. Alright, waiting for a little bit to get my next pack. Sorry, I should have cut that part out. Here we go. Madcap Skills. Wow, really? Massive Raid still there. Giant Adaphage. Sigh. And a Metropolis Sprite. Really the only thing for us in here. Thinking about hating the Adaphage. Don't really want to be sitting across from it. But no, take the playable. Here we go. Yet another Metropolis Sprite. Mugging. What's that still doing there? Simic, Kieran, Leyline Phantom, Paranoid, Swine. Sigh. Totally could have switched into Gruul sometime early in pack 1 or Boros. Or some combination of those two. I guess I'm still getting decent cards though, so for some reason here I'm still thinking maybe I'm going to be splashing green. Don't know what I'm expecting to come by here. I think this was another bad pick. Either the Paranoid Delusions or the Leyline Phantom would have been a better pick here. Second Phantom I think probably would have given me a little more on the upper end of the curve. Or even the Shadow Alley Denizen, just a little bit more to stall things up, or maybe have pseudo-evasive creature early. I don't find him that impressive usually. But nope, I pick up the Key Rune. There she goes. Alright, getting near the end of this one I think. What we got left here? Halberdiers with another mugging. Yikes. And a Corpse Blockade. So now we've got 2 Corpse Blockades, Undercity Informer to sack our 2 Mortar Striders too if we want to build that deck. I guess one of my big problems when I'm drafting this format is I don't decide early on enough what I'm trying to do. So I think when I was actually drafting this, I'm still thinking, what can I do? Oh, look at that. Sage's Row Denizen. That's nice. That just works with those deck combos I just talked about. So I see some of it. Most of my bad picks are though because I hadn't really committed to this plan early enough. Psychic Strike versus Keymaster Rogue. This is really what I'm looking at here. I think a Psychic Strike would have been nice. Keymaster Rogue works again with that whole Sage's Row Denizen plan. Bouncing the Mortar Striders or something else, replaying him to mill your opponent some more. Although I think at this point Psychic Strike would have been a reasonable pick as well, so I'm not sure which one was the right one here. I took the Rogue. And here we have a Death's Reproach and a Gridlock. Wow, those are both still there. What's that last card? Structural Collapse. Okay, yeah, whatever. And Death's Approach. Take the removal. Work well with what we're trying to do here. It's too bad I didn't get a few more of those. Turns out the 3 players passing to me were all Orzhov or combinations of Orzhov. So a lot of the good black removal was just getting chewed up. Here I should have taken the Dimir Guildgate, but yes, again, that's another. Maybe I'm splashing green. Drakewing Krasis is a good creature. Probably just another Guildgate would have been a better pick here. But nope, I end up with Krasis. That I won't be playing. Lots of 3-drops. Here we go. There's a Paranoid Delusions. It's nice that those come around late. That's one of the reasons why I like drafting Dimir. Not that it's a great card, just that if you end up building the crazy mill deck, it's a shocker for some people sometimes. Mill you for 3 and then 3 again. Another Last Thoughts or an Adaptive Snapjaw. Thinking, shouldn't be thinking this hard. Should really have given up on the green by this point, but apparently I hadn't. But I do make the right pick and I take the Last Thoughts here. Not that I'm going to play 2 of them, but... And what's my last card? I get past Shattering Blow. Woo! Not going to be playing that. Not a lot of artifacts you want to get rid of in this format. Alright, so the deck I ended up building here, this is what I went with my main deck. More of a sort of general purpose creature, some evasion, a little bit of mill. Sort of hopefully can survive and feel out what my opponent's doing. And I end up going fairly well with this. I also built a sideboard option that was designed to take care of the much faster decks, which I'll show you in a second here. Ended up going in 4 rounds. I ended up going 3-1 with this. I only lost to the Nuts Orzhov deck that was 2-back passing to me. He had Alms Beast and at least 1 Kingpin's Pet, enough Extort, and a crazy amount of removal. He was getting most of the good black removal, so it kind of did me in. So here's what I sideboarded into against the more aggressive decks. I took out the Dimir Kirun, the Leyline Phantom, the Last Thoughts, and the Biomass Mutation, and put in double Corpse Blockade, double Mortar Strider. Probably should have taken out the Spell Rupture and put in the Paranoid Delusions as well, but I didn't. Actually won a couple of games with this one. Funny, I went against the Gruul deck that was immediately to my left. She had just an amazing Gruul deck, as you could see by the cards I passed her. Sideboarded into this in Game 2 and Game 3, and in Game 3 milled her out when I was down to 1 life, and she was swinging in for the win. I think if she had been a little more aggressive a little earlier on, she was being a little tentative sometimes, she probably would have had me that game, but it was still fun to use the Duskmantle Guildmage to do the final 4-card mill. Anyway, thanks for watching, and join us some night for Friday Night.